doesn't say anything in here about corrupt political prosecutions brought in corrupt jurisdictions. Now, they say this is another quote. Although litigants do not surrender their First Amendments at the courthouse doors, those rights, the First Amendment rights, may be subordinated to other interests. For instance, let's see what examples she gives us and what examples she leaves out. She says, on several occasions, this court has approved restrictions on communications of trial participants where necessary to ensure a fair trial for a defendant. Here, alternative measures like voir dire, which is jury selection, asking them questions, jury sequestration, and jury instructions are sufficient to remedy only some of the potential prejudice that the government wants to seek. So I've got tools, I know I've got tools, but I don't have everything that I need. So Chutkin says, in order to safeguard the integrity of these proceedings, it is necessary to impose restrictions on public statements by Trump and interested parties. I'm going to gag and censor the administration, Biden administration's political opponents and their free speech. She says, undisputed testimony cited by the government, Molly Gaston, says that when the defendant Trump has publicly attacked individuals, which he makes comments about, right? You see how she's framing this, attacked individuals, including matters related to those cases, those individuals are threatened and harassed. So Trump says something untruth, somebody else reads it, somebody else says something to one of these officials writes an affidavit, sends it into the court, Trump gets silenced as a result of that. So we're all liable now, according to this ridiculous standard, especially if you have a lot of followers, okay? If you have a lot of followers out there, this is like the, you have more followers than me, and I'm offended gag order request. So Trump says something, somebody else says that the deranged thug Jack Smith is a deranged thug, they send him a message, and then Trump gets gagged for that. So his free speech, and by the way, yours too, okay? We have, under the First Amendment, we have the freedom of association, right? We're supposed to. Meaning, if we want to associate with Donald Trump and hear his speech, we should be free to hear that. But no, because some other person who really has already committed a crime, okay? If an individual threatens or harasses a prosecutor, that's a crime. So why doesn't our useless, unjust DOJ go and investigate those people for crimes? Why do they have to gag Trump over it? Because it's not about them feeling threatened or harassed. Go charge them with crimes. You got a bunch of FBI knuckleheads playing around in their coloring books, playing Where's Waldo, trying to still investigate the J6ers. Turn them loose on these people. Go get the people who actually threatened and actually harassed the officials. And by the way, we never encourage that at all, okay? Never threaten or harass anybody. Don't even send text messages or anything, because they'll just make up a threat. But that's my point. Go investigate him. You don't need to curtail his speech. It's not about protecting anybody. It's about gagging Trump. That's it. They want to shut him up because he's too damn effective. Every time he speaks out about how illegitimate it is, more people realize it. More people wake up and go, this is illegitimate. They've indicted him 4 times and his polls keep going up. So they have to shut him up. So since this indictment, the judge says, and even after the government filed this instant motion, Trump has continued to make similar statements, the judge says, attacking individuals involved in the judicial process, including potential witnesses and prosecutors and court staff. Trump has made those statements to national audiences. He has a big following, using language communicating not merely that he believes the process to be illegitimate, because it is, but also that particular individuals involved are liars or thugs or deserve death. Well, I think he says that death is related to treason, and death is one penalty for treason. That's all. Whether they deserve that or not would be up to the official process that they would go through after being prosecuted for treason. But by the way, many of these prosecutors and the people who are involved in this investigation are liars, and they are thugs. Now, the court finds that such statements pose a significant and immediate risk, that witnesses will be intimidated, but they're not going to be intimidated by Jack Smith leaking to the Washington Post or Bill Barr on the media talking about how deranged Trump is or what a monster he is, right? All the witnesses, they will be intimidated by Trump, but they can go out and talk about Trump. Weird. or otherwise unduly influenced by the prospect of being themselves targeted by threats or harassment, which, again, they could go investigate. So attorneys and public servants and other court staff will themselves become targets for threats and harassment.
I'm seeing if they had clothes, because the wife's got a bunch of bags of clothes in the back of the car for me to drop off.
That makes sense. But they
I'll
don't
just
want
do the
you
Salvation
to, they don't want to
Army
be
or something.
legitimate. They would rather stop the criticism being lobbed their direction.
Oh.
So, and the judge says, and that risk is largely irreversible in the age of the internet. Once an individual is publicly targeted, even revoking the offending statement may not abate the subsequent threats, harassment, or other intimidating effects during the pretrial as well as the trial stages of this case. All right. So the judge is just, I think, basically hallucinating a potential problem. The government submitted a couple affidavits of people who should have been investigated for making harassing threats. Maybe they were, maybe they weren't. But now the judge will hallucinate that Trump's going to say things that are going to cause more witness intimidation and gag him as a result. So saying Trump's position that no limits may be placed on Trump's speech because he's engaged in a political campaign is untenable, and the cases it cites do not hold. The circuit courts in both cases recognize that First Amendment rights must yield to the imperative of a fair trial. With an election case, Judge, are you comparing that, what you just said, to an election case? United States versus Ford and Brown, were those presidential election cases? Ford may have been. But unlike the district courts in those cases, however, this court, so she's distinguishing those cases. Those cases might have actually been favorable to Trump. Unlike those, this court has found that Trump's statements pose sufficiently grave threats. Okay, so those other statements, yeah, we protected their First Amendment rights, but Trump's statements are worse than those. And the integrity of proceedings, and they cannot be addressed by alternative means. And so now we have to tailor an order to meet the force of those threats. Therefore, the judge says, limited restrictions, as she says, now I think these are monster restrictions, on extrajudicial statements are justified here. The bottom line is that equal justice under the law, of which Trump has seen zero, requires equal treatment of criminal defendants. Again, it's like one of the most laughable phrases you've ever seen.
And leaving work at
Equal
dark.
treatment
That's
of criminal
awesome.
defendants. This judge and this deep circuit and this entire thing has
Brand
been
new
such
Bud
a
Bar.
shame.
Ooh,
But they're going to sit
75
here and they're going to go home
strings.
tonight and they're going to talk about this, right? They probably actually believe it too. I think that's how delusional they are. They say defendants' presidential candidacy cannot excuse statements
377.
that would otherwise intolerably jeopardize these proceedings. And so finally, after her little screed there, we get to our final ruling. So accordingly, it is hereby ordered the following: that all interested parties in this matter, including the parties and their lawyers, are prohibited from making any public statements or directing any others to make public statements that target the special counsel prosecuting this case or the staff. So deranged thug Jack Smith cannot be called a deranged thug anymore by Trump or his counsel, but we can call him that because we are not directed to do that. We just call him a deranged thug on our own volition. Defense counsel or their staff, or any of this court staff, or any other supporting personnel, or any reasonably foreseeable witness or the substance of their testimony. So, like, literally nothing, okay? No public statements that target anybody. Now, I don't know what public statements about, like, you can't even say, I think Jack Smith's doing a great job. Hey, Jack Smith is finally woken up. You can't say anything that target the prosecuting of this case or any witness or the substance of their testimony. It is a blanket order. Okay, so, like, just to be clear, we could change this all up. You could say all parties are prohibited from making any public statements that are threatening or intimidating, right? You could just insert, threatening or intimidating right here, that are threatening or intimidating. But no, not that at all. It's just any public statements about them prosecuting this case or any witnesses or the substance of their testimony.
Talk about how's your
You
neck
can't
going?
talk about
Not bad. How about you?
Not too bad. You can go ahead and order whenever you're
January
ready.
6th, arguably.
think I'm gonna get a
person might be a witness.
number 10.
January 6th is the substance
Okay,
of
what's
their
your drink?
testimony.
I get
It's just, let's continue on. We've got some limits to it.
Baja
It's
Mountain
extremely
Dew.
broad. It's
Okay.
as broad as you can possibly get. This order should not be construed to stop Trump from making statements.
Yeah, some fire sauce with that,
Oh,
please.
that's good. Thanks, Judge.
Alrighty, if everything's correct, you're
Including
going to
by
get 995.
or the DOJ.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Statements asserting that he's innocent. Oh, that's good. He can still say he's innocent. Or that his prosecution is politically motivated. So he can say that too. But he can't talk about Jack Smith. So he can't call him a deranged thug. So statements criticizing the campaign platforms or the policies of his current political rivals, like Mike Pence, he can talk about. But maybe not Bill Barr or anyone else who might be a witness, or Mark Milley, for example. So he can only talk about, like, she carved out this. This is, my friends, this is so insane. Okay, so this judge will, Mike Pence is a witness. So she will carve out an election exception to this whole thing. No, the election is subordinate to my courtroom. My courtroom reigns supreme except for Mike Pence, who is a literal witness, who actually, maybe a key witness.
And also a
counted the
candidate.
Electoral votes on January 6th. Except you can criticize him because the election does matter now. There's no logical consistency to this at all. And this is going to be,
995?
I think, attacked very nicely. And I think the judge watched this too. She should have picked one side or the other, but now she's threading the needle here. So he can criticize Mike Pence, but not Mark Milley or Bill Barr, who are on TV criticizing him in the middle of an election. So he can only condemn and criticize a declared candidate. Then is that right? Not other witnesses or their substance. It's an insane order and an insane time. And so here, in addition, the sealed version of the government's motion is denied as moot. Okay, so she didn't really deny anything. She granted the government what they wanted and placed some slight limitations. So that's good. In a political season, he can still criticize Joe Biden. That's tremendous news. So that's a judge in America, shattering our free speech and Trump's free speech, shattering our free association to hear from somebody that we want to associate with. And she's doing it because she wants to gag a political opponent of her political party. And people are joining in on this. Here is Chris Christie, who is saying that Trump's already violated this order. Maybe they should throw him in jail.
So, Governor, Donald Trump is already openly complaining about the gag order and Judge Check-in. I want to take a listen. You've probably seen this, but everybody may not have, to what Trump said just a couple of hours ago.
The judge gave a gag order today. Did you hear that on speech? Which I believe is totally unconstitutional, what she did. A judge gave a gag order. The judge doesn't like me too much. Her whole life is not liking me.
I think us non-lawyers are trying to evaluate what violates the gag order and what doesn't. I mean, did he already violate the gag order by complaining about Judge Check-in? What's your view on that?
I don't think so.
He probably didn't violate the gag order, but look, he will. I mean, that's we know, Jen. He will. And the fact is that this is the problem with having a Republican candidate for president who is under indictment in 4 different jurisdictions.
Yeah, by your
These
friends.
These kind of things happen to
by your friends, the people you talk to on MSNBC all the time.
Defendants all the time. Gag orders are often put in place. I was a U.S. attorney for 7 years, and we saw this happen a number of times. You're not allowed to do this. And because he's running for president, he thinks somehow the law does not apply to him. It does. And so the fact is that I think that appears to be, I didn't see the whole order, but it appears to be a pretty narrowly tailored order.
No, it is
that
not.
Tries to prevent him from polluting a jury pool against certain witnesses and against the government. He gets to say
Christie is so disgusting, man.
Now, he didn't read the order because it was not out, okay? So he's just commenting on this on Inside Jen Psaki's show, and she was on MSNBC last night, so this was not today. So he didn't read the order. So he's just spreading around fake garbage news. It's a narrow order. No, it's not. We just read it. It's not limiting him from impacting the jury. It's about stopping him from criticizing the prosecution. Specifically, right? The specific things that are illegitimate he cannot talk about.
Motivated prosecution, if that's what he wants to say. but he doesn't get to attack individuals, which is his, stock in trade. So I think he came close to the line on that one. It's saying she doesn't like me, and she has a history of not liking me. My guess is it's not going to take that. If she's going to call him on it, it's going to take something much more direct. But look, this is the awful temperament of the guy who is currently the front runner for the nomination of my party. And that's why I'm out here calling him out directly on this stuff, Jen, because his conduct is beneath the office that he was privileged to hold.
Yeah, Chris Christie is such a gentleman that if he was being prosecuted by his political opponents, he would just sit there like a nice guy and just take it. He would just say, no, it's all perfectly legitimate and we're going to follow the rules and I'm just going to go into court and just shut my mouth up. Yeah, right. Chris Christie never shuts his mouth for anything. He'll be talking more than anybody and doing other things because he can't help himself. But this is another person also on MSNBC. This is Andrew Weissman, was a big part of the original Trump prosecutions. And here's what he says.
I think it is, but I would give sort of two notes or sort of footnotes to that, Nicole. One is I thought it was striking that the government up front conceded that there was absolutely nothing they were asking for that would restrict Donald Trump from criticizing the current sitting president, saying that he is not a party to this. You can say any and all things to try and draw.
Can he say something like Biden is prosecuting me in a corrupt manner, and that's why he hired a deranged thug to do that? Can he say something like that? Because that is the type of criticism that we want. It sounds like he cannot say that. So he can say Joe Biden, I guess, is like terrible on the economy, or like is wrecking the world affairs and foreign policy, or that the border is a disaster, or that inflation's out of control. But if he says Joe Biden is running a corrupt DOJ to prosecute his political opponents, do you think the judge would allow that?
The sting out of that particular argument that Donald Trump is making, that somehow this is Joe Biden saying he doesn't want to be criticized, that was something that the government upfront said that is not what they're seeking. He can continue to say anything he wants, and in fact the judge then said that she is not going to bar that. And the second thing is, if you remember, that the government's motion here was tailored to trying to protect the jury pool. It was about protecting the information flow to the jury.
Which is total hogwash, okay? Because the DC jury is about 95% Democrat, first. And number two, she can voir dire that. She can ask them, did you hear Donald Trump say that Jack Smith is a deranged thug? No, I listened to Trump. Okay. And if they said, yes, I did that impact your ability to be fair and impartial here today? No. Great, come on the jury. So Trump should be able to say whatever he wants. And in fact, if Trump talks, openly about it, that would help us identify some of the jurors who are hyper partisan, right? Get rid of them so we get a fair and impartial jury.
That's not really how the judge ended up ruling. The judge ended up saying, I understand that, but I can deal with that issue when we pick a jury. What I'm concerned about is violence. And so the line that she drew was, you can attack institutions, you can attack DOJ, you can attack the institution of the executive branch, the White House, Joe Biden himself,
special counsel,
but you cannot attack prosecutors and their families, judges.
So we do want to attack the prosecutors, okay? Not their families and not them personally, but the special counsel's office, it is illegitimate. And they are a bunch of deranged thugs in there who are prosecuting their political opponents. That's the point. We don't want to criticize the DOJ generally speaking. It's this instance that is a corrupt affair. And it's multiple of them. It's also in Florida and DC. And Big Fanny, and Tishy James. So it's meaningless to say that Trump can criticize the Biden people if he can't criticize them on the one thing he wants to criticize them about.
And their families, the judge's staff, jurors, and witnesses. So she was very, very concerned about something.
Oh, it's the first time I've seen somebody wanted slots.
She's looking at.
Too bad it isn't in the big one.
In New York, she said she was looking at that, and she's concerned with the trying to forestall the problem of violence being taken and in response to the former president's words. And so that's why you see this differentiation in her ruling as to what's allowed and what's not allowed.
All right, so pretty terrible analysis. Okay, he walks us through this. The judge has said the opposite of basically what he said. Says when he's attacked individuals, we've got a duty to keep all of this together. And again, I don't think he actually read the order, so maybe I'm being a little bit unfair to him. So those were the things that he had said after. Actually, I think that was last night, so he didn't actually read the official order. So, maybe I'll lighten up on it a bit. But here, Trump is gagged. In my opinion, it is politically motivated. He can continue to say that his prosecution is politically motivated, but he can't talk about Jack Smith or even maybe the special counsel's office. So it's an outrageous thing that we're seeing here. Now they're trying to play it cool. Right? They're not going to have a motion that says Trump is gagged from speaking. Obviously not the case. They always frame this stuff as we have to do it to save grandma, right? You got to lock down to save grandma. You got to censor information to save grandma. And we love grandma here, but we want free speech. We don't want to gag our presidential candidates because it's so dangerous that we have to save Jack Smith's grandma or whatever, right? Enough with the hypotheticals. Give us our free speech back. Give us our free association back. Trump is obviously going to be appealing this, as he should. I hope the Supreme Court steps in on this and confirms to us that the criminal process is not the only sanctified process in this whole country, okay? Just because Chutkin is prosecuting Donald Trump doesn't mean the rest of the world comes to a standstill. You've got half of America that wants to see and hear from Trump, and they're going to try to shut it up in the middle of an election. And I'd be concerned about this, my friends, because when you shut people up, it turns the whole place into a pressure cooker, and they would just love for something else to happen that they can rank or blame on the right. And so we'll continue to cover this, my friends. It boils my blood to no end. Thank you for joining us and subscribing and sharing this video with a friend or family member so they know what Judge Chutkin is doing to Trump. All right, my friends. Well, that is it for us on the day. We covered some good ground. The appeal of the Chutkin gag order is underway. Trump showed up in New York furious that they're continuing to do this to him. And we also talked about Jim Jordan and the betrayal by the Republicans voting him out, or not voting him in, rather. And so now, my friends, it is time to hear from you and to see what you have to say about this over from our amazing community and our amazing supporters at watchingthewatchers.locals.com. Come and join us over there. We do member-only streams in the morning. We already had our first stream was already this morning, so hopefully you join us for our next stream tomorrow on the live stream and our Saturday shows. Watchingthewatchers.locals.com. Come and join us. Also, don't forget to check out and sign up for our daily newsletter. If you want the news delivered to your inbox every day after the show, go to robertgovea.com, sign up for the newsletter, get access to the mind maps, read the show reports. It's all over there, and we'll look forward to seeing you at either one of those locations. But today, let's say what's up to our amazing donos and our amazing friends who support the work that we do here. Starting us off in the house is our friend Dolphin Fan is the man on the day, bringing in new membos. Woo! Woo! Look at this. That was from yesterday. Man, I am all discombobulated. Where are we at? Totally discombobulated. Here we are. Dolphin Fan gives so many donos, it's hard to keep track of all of them. Thank you, Dolphin. But bringing in Angela G, Country C, Mike M, Diana D, and Renee C, all coming in courtesy of Dolphin Fan.
That is a nice guy
in the house. Thank you, Zach, for clipping for us today. We got Steve H, also became a supporter.
Well, I'm going to put together the membership thing and everything for the channel probably tonight. I'm probably not going to stream from work tonight. So I'm going to put that together. If I do get it together in time, I may do a couple hours, but I did all fucking day today while I tried to do payroll, so. Get my delicious tacos from Moe's.
Just welcome the police state. Text censorship, 1984.
Yeah, who memberships? Yeah. I'm going to make the regular membership as cheap as possible. Then I'll have a couple, if it lets me, a couple of different tiers. But
and it's a big problem. So we're going to keep covering this, and I really hope more people start speaking out about this, so that the Court of Appeals.
One thing is built into that the Gizmo is if you give donos, it's like 10,000 points.
Became a member. Good to see you. As
So
a member over
that'll be part of it as well. It's already built into Streamlabs.
Makina Realty Maui is here.
It won't matter how much.
Well,
You can send 99 cents. And it'll...
Makina Realty Maui making a dono, $10. So thank you for that, and thank you for being a member. And man, I always think one day maybe I'll need some real estate in Maui. Thank you, Makina. Stephen Mosher's here. Says it's obvious that Mar-a-Lago is worth more than 18 million. But then he goes nuts and says 1.5 billion, demonstrating what the case is all about. So Stephen Mosher's like, oh man, just like Trump, give us like a fair market value so that we don't, He's like, what are you talking about? It's like $25 trillion. And Tishy's like, huh? See? Okay. I see what you're saying, Steve. Now, in my opinion, okay, it's not Tishy's business to go in and unpack all of this stuff. Like, if Trump makes a valuation and the bank accepts the valuation and there's no harm and they're not even a complainant in this, it's like, what is she doing? It's obviously it's political, and I want to know who the harmed party is. And a lot of
oh, shit, I was going to fucking exit there.
So, but I get your point, Steve.
Go to the...
Actually. Trump's like, no, it's like $1 trillion. Yeah.
I got to stop at...
It's sitting on an oil field, actually. Mar-a-Lago is sitting on.
Oh, I can get this next one. Okay, LaGrange, cool.
Here's Pickle Jars.
I'm gonna run over to the Salvation Army and donate some clothes.
By Democrats.
Got a bunch of bags of clothes in my back of my car. So.
And so, it's a good question. I don't know. I agree completely. So in her case, there is no jury, obviously, but you could say that she's impacting the jury elsewhere. Prosecutors generally don't talk about who they are prosecuting. And she's an attorney general in a civil prosecution.
Drive to
so again,
Salvation
she's allowed
Army.
To speak. Okay, Jack Smith is allowed to leak to the Washington. All allowed to leak, talk, except Donald Trump. And many of these witnesses will be out in the media condemning Trump for the entire election. And he's not allowed to respond to them because they might be a foreseeable witness. Hey, NY Reno's in the house, says, over on Locals, says the average person within moments of hearing the facts of the New York Trump properties lawsuits concludes how unfair and ridiculous it is. I do think there's some truth to that, even though a lot of people in this country are, communists. I think they still
remember there's one over here.
Like, even the communists appreciate property rights. Like, they all, like, if they feel something from them when they get their cars broken into in San Francisco, they're all outraged about it, They generally don't come out and say, like, hey, I love giving stuff to other people. They all, like, for example, they want to welcome everybody into the country, but then not in their neighborhoods, right? Not in my backyard. No, we're a sanctuary city, just not here in the nice parts of Bel Air. So it's a curious thing that happens. And when people see other people's property and their hard work assets that they built up over the years stolen from them, I think that just feels instinctively wrong, because I think property rights are, human rights. Why? Because you take your life, you take your labor, which is yours, and you mix it with this world, and you use your God-given skill set to.
Hello.
Hey, sorry to bother you. I know you're not in yet, but when you get in, can you call me?
I'm actually heading over there. I'm just dropping some clothes off at the Salvation Army here. Why? What's up?
Okay, so I just got a text message. They're entering you in the PPE for access for the machines. So they're going to give me a code to give you, so that way any new hires, you have to start giving them the glasses and the gloves. They don't want Anthony giving the glasses and gloves to the new hires anymore.
Great.
Because apparently he's been using his code and giving everybody's glasses and gloves way too much, and he's trying to blame it on that he's giving them to all the new hires.
That's bullshit.
Right. So that's why they're creating you a code. They created me and Swan one today too.
Is it just
But
like
they're
it's
gonna,
like a
text
link
me your
and
code.
everything?
Huh?
Just a link I can log into to do it?
No, so you'll just hit pound and then you'll enter your 4-digit code and hit pound again, and it'll pop up your name. It'll say like Norm IES, and then you put the like whatever number the gloves are or glasses are.
Oh, okay.
Well, only for the new hires.
Okay,
because
yeah.
every employee.
Yeah. Okay.
Every
So this is not
employee
good. This is not, because I have people constantly coming to me saying their code's not working, and I'm like, dude, I have no control. So this doesn't give me control of that.
Right. So
Good.
what happens is if they say their numbers aren't working, then you try their number on the machine, and if it's not working, then write down their name and their last 4, and that way I can tell Troy, so that way they can put it in the system.
Okay.
So if their number isn't working, they have to go to their line supervisor, and their line supervisor is what's going to get them their stuff.
Okay. All right. So I mean, I've been giving them glasses anyway out of the drawer. That's where I normally give new hires glasses.
Yeah, no, they want to use the machine, but they're trying to like figure out I don't know, I guess like money wise and stuff.
Okay. All right. Just
But Anthony was trying to say that he was using it so much because of all the new hires, but then when they calculated the new hires and everything, they're like, no, that don't even make sense.
Yeah.
So that's why they gave us codes for just the new hire stuff.
Where is the drop off for clothes? I thought they had something outside here at the Salvation Army in Manhattan and Stickney, but I don't see anything.
They used to have one right there on Manhattan and Stickney. I don't think they have it anymore.
I mean, it's got the thrift store here, but there's no boxes here to drop stuff off.
There's not one in the back of it.
I'm afraid to drive back there. It's so dark.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go back there. Yeah, you're right. You on Manhattan and Stickney. But it used to be right there out front, like on the corner.
Yeah. I guess this is an alley. I'm going to shoot down here real quick. See. There's a fence. Oh, yeah, there's boxes there, but they're fine. Oh, well. I'll figure it out, I guess. I'll probably just go to...
All right.
Just send me the info.
Okay.
I'll take care of it. But yeah, like I said, so from now on, so the ones in the drawer from now on will be just for if they can't use the machine, and we're gonna have them fill out charge for it.
They don't even want to do that. Like basically, they're for like you and Swan.
Oh,
if you need to wear them.
Okay. All right. One thing I wanted to ask you too. How do they have a right to go into my fucking personal phone?
I just got off the phone with Gina about that. I was like, why? I don't understand how they can go through our personal phone either. I mean, I don't have nothing in my
No, I don't either. But the thing is, I know. I talk shit about management with you, but I do it to your personal phone instead of your work phone because I thought I was protected.
And that's why I'm like, that's what my worry is, because I be talking shit like about Gina, about management and shit. And I know me and you, we talk shit back and forth about that. Yeah. So it's like shit.
The thing is, they're not going to look at your personal phone though, are they? They're just going to look at your work phone though, right?
No, they're going to look at my work phone and they're going to look at my personal phone.
Oh, fuck.
Because they were both subpoenaed.
I'm almost thinking about talking to a lawyer. Because that's a violation of my Fourth Amendment.
That's what I'm like. But apparently what's going to happen is they're going to go to it and they're just going to go to say, for instance.
That's what they say. That's what they say.
I know that's what they say. I know.
I don't know, man. I think I'm going to call a lawyer tomorrow. I mean, it hasn't even, given me a time to do it or anything yet, but I think I'm going to call a lawyer tomorrow and ask. I mean, how broad is the subpoena? I mean, I just don't understand that. How they can do that. I mean,
I know, and
They have-
technically we haven't even seen any paperwork.
yeah,
We're
they
just
say
going
that
off of what Gina's saying.
a subpoena exists. Okay, let me see it. Let me
Right.
take it to my lawyer and let him look at it.
Oh, right. You know what, Norm? See, this is why I fuck with you, because you be making my mind think.
Well, I just, I have a right to privacy. That's my
Yeah.
personal phone. My wife doesn't even get into my phone, even though I don't give a shit if she wanted to. But how is my employer going to have the ability to get in my phone? Bullshit. Because I might have talked about somebody or something. I didn't. We
Right.
didn't say anything about that shit.
Dude, I was even talking shit about. See, my thing is, I was talking shit about Danielle to Gina, and they're
Mhm.
gonna pull. She said that the company is gonna be saying, for instance, this is how she explained it to me. She said they're gonna go to my messages to Gina,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're gonna put the certain date frame,
Mm-hmm.
I guess. And from that date frame, then they're gonna type in Electro Prime or / Danielle. And then from there, that's how they're gonna give those documents to the court. See, they already did that with my work phone. They did that with the work phone,
Mm-hmm.
but I really didn't have any. I didn't have no messages about Danielle. It was just, when Danielle first started, I had that in there. I don't
Yeah.
even know if I still got that in there.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I have about anybody at Electra Prime on my personal phone, really, between me and Gina or me and you, is when we were setting up, for the onboarding stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't when I talk shit like this because I don't want any record of it,
Right. So that's why I was like, fuck, no, but I think what's going to fuck us is because I sent a message to Gina the text message saying, hey, I don't think this is a good idea. I have a bad feeling. I think she's lying to us.
Yeah, well, so that's just your thoughts at the moment.
Right. That's my thoughts.
No, ain't nothing against you. I mean, that's just, you have a right to voice your feelings to your supervisor. I mean,
All right.
it's, I think that what they're looking for is that somehow we knew that she was lying. You there?
Yeah.
Okay. And we didn't. I mean, we thought that might have been a possibility, but we didn't know that for sure.
Right.
And I mean, basically, it's ridiculous, man. Fucking Adeco's got some heavy pockets, though, so they're gonna press this hard.
Oh, they got some heavy ass pockets because they're not letting. Gina said in her deposition, they were going, and she's like, they're not stopping. So I have a feeling that they might win this, to be honest.
I mean, win what? I mean, what are they actually suing for?
For $1 billion and some dollars.
No, I mean, what is the charge? What are they saying? What are they saying that we did, or not we, but the company did that was illegal?
I don't even know. I didn't ask all that. I should ask. I'll ask tomorrow.
I'm just curious. I mean, I'm very reluctant to I don't care. I mean, I don't have anything to hide, but I'm sorry, it doesn't matter.
The only thing I don't like is because I got pictures of the kids.
That's
what I don't like.
I got private messages between me and my wife, and
yeah, and then all my bank stuff is on my phone. You don't ever know.
Yeah, trust us. Don't worry. We're not looking for bullshit. Bullshit. There's a reason why phones lock.
Right.
I mean, if they want to do that, all they have to do is get the judge to order that our phone companies turn them over.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. The phone companies can do it.
Yeah, and then it's up to the phone company whether or not they want to abide by it or not. I have a hard time with this. Gina mentioned, I was just like, okay, we'll see.
Hold on, Jamie who?
Jamie's the one that's going to do it.
Jamie that used to work with us,
Yes.
Jamie?
Yeah, he's the one that's.
Oh my God. Hell no.
Yeah.
He's the most grimiest one of them all.
I don't know. It says Prime 2. That's him. That's Jamie.
Oh my God. And then he tells Michael everything.
I know. They work together outside of work. They've asked me to work with them, but I was like, guys, I can't do the traveling that you guys do. I don't get free time.
Right.
But no.
See, I didn't even put that 2 and 2 together. Prime 2 and Jamie.
Yeah.
Because oh my God, I got my ass chewed out today by Kevin. And then I was doing payroll. Then Heather and Nick were like going nuts about the new system.
Yeah. I had some issues today too, but I had to literally take the whole fucking spreadsheet from Vectrum and put it onto a new spreadsheet. Line by fucking line. I just left there. Like I said, I normally go and have dinner for an hour and a half between job sites, but I grabbed Taco Bell because it's Tuesday. Even though I fucking hate Taco Bell, but I usually get some good tacos over at Moe's because they got some good stuff on Tuesday. You got a nice crispy chicken taco with some chipotle sauce, chipotle ranch they put on it.
They have a nice burger too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, their burger was nice and thick the one day, but like cooked so good, like perfect, and it was still juicy at the same time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm texting them right now. They're supposed to be telling me what your code is.
Okay. Yeah, I know how to use the machines.
But it's just only for new hires. And if they come in and say, "Hey, I'm not in the system," then you can try their code. And if their code doesn't work, then just write down their name and their last 4. But they have to go to their line supervisor and get their glasses and their gloves.
Okay. I mean, they have the machines out there too, right? So.
Yep, they do. But you would only do the new hires.
All right. Alrighty. Well, thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Let me know what they say about that other too.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Bye.
All right.
Who's your girl, Dirty?
The feed. And we've got 7 viewers in the house. Woo, it's pretty crazy over here on the X. Who's here? We've got.
Yeah, I can't believe they're trying to do this
set the
shit.
record straight.
My fucking personal
not
phone.
Suing.
They can fuck right off.
Good news on that. Everyone else is, Danny. So the fact that you're not is good. Everyone else is. Hey, V's here says the Constitution has been redacted so much it's now the consecration is what that redacted thing says. Redacted. Consecration is what I'll call it. Here, Fred Pedamonte says quid pro quo. Danny says I can't post what I want to say, but there needs to be a board that oversees the judges. And George is here, says fishy tishy, thanks Rob, and go watching the watchers. Fishy tishy and go watching the watchers. And here's another photograph of Judge Chutkin. Here she is, right here, Judge Chutkin. Now I haven't seen this one before. Looks familiar to me. I knew I'd seen her before somewhere, but that's apparently Judge Chutkin. That's from other side of the mountain over on the X platform. And there's some more good replies over there. So certainly this one came in from Troublemaker Jonah, which was under the thing. It says one thing that is certainly inferred with this order is that that's why it was censored, because they're talking about Jack Smith's manhood. That's why. Got it. All right. And so that, my friends, is it for us on the day, and we are going to leave it there. Members, come and join us at watchingthewatchers.locals.com. YouTube members, join us on the private Telegram group for the members only after party. We do hang out after the show and hang out with our members.
Yeah, let's escape.
We'd love to see you there. Watching the Watchers.
I'm not sweating that much, man. I just think it's.
I want to say shout out to our mods and our meme smiths who
finally have a little bit of knowledge about my rights more than I've known in my whole life, and I'm pretty sure this is kind of a violation of that.
We got John Allen's here. Zach Nichols clipping away for us. Thank you, Zach. Today, beyond GeoStars, our friend Zulu's in the house. Ronnie Cole, Playing Hooky, Just Cause, K-Bean, and our friend BNTKS Prime, all in the house. And we had a couple extra donos come in. Thank you for closing us out. Pookie's mom says, but it's not about Trump. It should be looked at as if Trump is interchangeable with any other American.
Because somebody lied when we were hiring them. And I've had communication with my boss, and they just want to make sure that there's nothing in regards to that on my phone, when there's my opinion about it, but I don't know anything factual. Basically, Adecco used to have Electroprime. They used to be the staffing company for Electroprime. Well, Electroprime was not happy with that. So they brought us on. And when they brought us on, all the temps that were working there, we were allowed to onboard into our temps. The ones that Electroprime didn't want to hire in yet. Well, their representative there, who actually, we were going to continue working there as well. So we hired her to continue working there. Well, she had signed a non-compete clause with Adecco. And when we hired her, she lied about it. And instead of just firing her, the company kept her on, but not working out there anymore. Now she's working in our, that's who I send my fucking payroll numbers to, that I argue with every fucking week, because she's new at the job. I'll just say that. So Adecco is suing Electroprime and us, I assume, for a lot of money. She said $1 billion, but it's millions of dollars. Because our parent company is actually a pretty big company. They own a brewing company, they own a solar panel company, but they're a local company, so they're going after those people's pockets. I mean, I'm not being sued. Any communication that I've had on my personal phone, which I don't have a work phone through this job, because they've offered me one, and I said, no, I don't need one. I didn't want another phone. Now, when I took on the IT job, I was like, I need a phone, because I know with IT stuff, you're going to have to constantly be using a phone number for accounts and whatnot. So that's why I got that stupid iPhone. But so somehow, I guess the judge ordered all texts between me and my boss and her, Monica, are subject to public review, court review as discovery, even though it's not a public record. Yeah, I hate iPhones. I fucking hate iPhones. But everybody who's doesn't work in IT seems to think that that's the way to go. You're limited on the software you can use on it. I mean, security-wise, I would say it's a better phone. But that's not what I'm worried about. I know how to keep my phone secure. So that's why it's frustrating.
Like a popcorn popper.
And now there's apparently, my boss called me this morning about it. She had a few words. She's like, so we're eventually going to get called in to have your phone plugged in and to download all text messages between this date and this date between you and me and you and Monica, because those are the only two people at my company that I really communicate with on my phone.
Need more than a minute.
So, hey, Brandon, good to see you.
Just hang the bacon off the razor wire. Oh, gosh. One more from Dre Williams says we did this. Oh, yeah, we missed that. I kind of got that one on the screen from Dre Williams. Dre Williams. Thank you, Dre. I think I posted that one, but no comment on it. Thank you, D. Change of subject. What's this one? Oh, gosh, yeah. I saw that breaking.
Yeah, I'm not sure that that's even. I mean, if they can even legally do that. I mean, okay, wait a minute. So
house beats.
When I text my boss, I'm texting her on her work phone because she's got a work phone, but I think she doesn't even have a personal phone because of her work phone.
Jonah Ryan says, actually read more of my comments.
But Why can't they just take the messages I've sent her
Those are left
from her phone?
That was from Joe Ryan.
So I don't get it. I mean, why are they going to see if anything's been deleted? And I've already been told that today. The email said today, do not reformat your phone because we'll know if you did.
Yeah, that one was.
I'm like, how can you tell somebody that? They can't do what they want with their own phone.
It's like it hides it under the replies. So let me show you. Like right there. That's how you know your comments being censored. Boom, click that. There it is. And this is the reason why, I think. Yeah, probably
I just don't get
that
it.
word right there is the word that did it. So, but yeah, we read what we could on that one. Good to see you. Funny phonetically. Crash is here. Says Ken Buck, deep state devotee. He's literally talking about like stopping the DOJ investigations and how Joe Biden is such a great dude and wants Jim Jordan to stop that. Elliot's here. Says, would you consider running through the transcripts of yesterday's hearings on one of the streams, since the judge's findings of fact in combination with today's orders will be at issue in the appeal? Probably won't do another full transcript read through, but I do know the transcripts are out. I know Julie Kelly posted one. We got pretty close to it yesterday, but I don't know that I want to read through the full thing in, verbatim. I've actually thought about this. Like, it's a lot of work to read through a transcript. And since we've already kind of gotten into it, I'm not sure that people would be interested in that again. But I do think there is some value to that. And so I've literally been thinking about this, Elliot. I don't know if you have any thoughts on this, but like about we've talked about this before, but like getting other people to read them, like hiring voice actors to do all the voices and just memorialize them. Problem with that is it's just expensive. So anyways, I know that's not what you're asking, but here's your point. From Roger Parloff's updates that you went over yesterday, I wonder about the following. So let me get this. So Julie Kelly, I think, already got the full transcript. So I think she posted that on declassified.live. Let me see if it's here. Like I would rather.
I like one or
two
much.
Rather than
I'll complain about it after a month or so, but
sometimes
I do like Four Seasons. That's why I live where I live.
Yeah. So here she posted the full thing here. 86 page. That's not that long. Okay.
Oh shit.
So this is the full transcript. So Elliot, I'm going to drop this link for you if you want to read through it. Here. And then let's hit your questions. It says, I wonder the following. Did the judge say anything about a continuance or a change of venue during the hearing? It goes to the need to establish that prior restraint is at least restrictive. What was the context for Gaston's prejudice is speculative question? It seemed to have something to do with witnesses and potential intimidation. Yeah, and they also filed another one under seal. Like, did you see that? Did you see that in today's order, which I have not seen? Okay, so there's more to the story that we have not seen. So this part here.
All right.
And I don't know what this is.
Well, there's the guy with the boobs.
But in addition.
All right, guys. Thanks for riding with me. Sorry you guys had to hear all that crap. 37. The unused door 37. We use door 38. Right next to it. All right, guys. If I'm able to, I'll start up a stream in there, but I doubt it's going to happen. It was a long day today. Peace. Love you guys. I'll see you on the next one.